Thank you. Good evening. I wish I was a scientist. Actually, I wish I was a doctor. I've had the great privilege of playing both on the stage, and I'm really honored to be here tonight to share some thoughts and ideas with you. And it's clear to me one of the great things about TED is that it is a forum for new ideas. But sometimes, I believe, that ideas that already exist should just be reinvented. And we should just be reminded, again, of ideas that might be part of our life. So I want to share with you this notion from me about how my universe is ordered and about how that's informed. And it has a lot to do with reminding you and reminding myself that we really shouldn't wait for life to happen. That coincidences have a place and occupy a place that might be far more significant than we ever think. I wish I was a scientist. So, to give you a little bit of context, I spent 7 years in university, 4 years in my undergraduate degree, earning my Bachelor of Fine Arts, 3 years earning my Master's of Fine Arts in theater, studying acting. And I really didn't study acting. I studied human behavior. I studied how we connect with each other so that we might, as actors and directors and designers, replicate the human condition for you, the observer. And so because of that, in my heart and as part of my being, I am a storyteller. As an actor, a director, and now an administrator of a very large regional theater on our beautiful campus. And because my life and my universe is contextualized through that lens partly, and through being a dad, I would like to tell you a story to remind you of some ideas that may be big, that may be small, that you probably already know. I recently ate at the Hong Kong buffet on Main Street in Cedar City. Thank you for not judging. You just judged. I had mostly the green beans, which are terrific, and they have the best hot and sour soup in Cedar City. They have the only hot and sour soup in Cedar City. But they're great people. Anyway, I was there. It's a great place, and they're very nice. I was there with my beautiful wife, Stephanie, and my sons, Jack and Elliot, whose focus was, shall we say, the living embodiment of the chaos theory. Not as present as I'd hoped, and certainly not conducive for a family meal together. Now look, I'm a lucky guy. My wife has the patience of Job. She is a calming force for 3 boys, I'm one of them, that have a predisposition to have our minds wander, a little ADD sprinkled in with a couple of other things. And she puts up with us, and she nurtures us. And I'd rather spend time with them at their most insane than do just about anything else in the world. So by all counts, I got a good life. And by all accounts, I'm the insanely difficult one to deal with. So hey, life's pretty good. Now look, I am a 45-year-old man. And it takes me a ton of focus and will and energy to focus. I know my kids have the fidgets in their genes and in their genes, so I don't begrudge them, and I don't judge them, and I don't take them to very expensive restaurants. And here's a secret and an awkward segue. I have Hashimoto's disease, which is a fairly common thyroid disease. But it's a bit tricky, and it gets trickier when it's peppered with the occasional ADD moment. And when my meds for my Hashimoto's aren't balanced or my endocrinologist changes my dosage, I can bounce off the walls while I'm putting 40 pounds on, or fall asleep in the middle of an AC/DC concert at full volume riding a rocket ship while losing 40 pounds. And if the meds aren't right, I have a predisposition to think about things like the world ending. And all the while, it's really hot while that's happening. And thankfully, those thoughts only last for an hour or two, and they visit usually between 2 and 3 in the morning, so my sleep patterns are really interesting too. All this is to say that being present is a present. It's a gift. More on that in a bit. So the little black plastic tray arrives with the bill and 4 fortune cookies. New moment. New discovery. What are those, Dad? The boys on the precipice of discovery. The new moon penumbra peeking out in the form of an unexplored version of the cookie. A 3-year-old's universe, ever expanding, wide open, ready to receive new context, new taste, new information. Eliot's question, what are those, David? He alternates between calling me Dad and David. Sugared with excitement, anticipatory, and me, Dad, David, forced to be present. Now, David, focus. This, Eliot, is the coolest treat. It is called a fortune cookie. It is a cookie, and inside there's a white piece of paper, typically. And on that piece of paper is a fortune, a prediction for you, for us to think about, something that imparts wisdom for you, for us to think about before or after you eat your American-manufactured Chinese Nilla wafer. By the way, do they have fortune cookies in China? This is one of the gifts of ADD. No, they don't. This is an American invention, my friends. This is as American as TEDxSUU, reality TV, and that incredible Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich which promises bacon and cheese inside of 2 deep-fried breasts of fried chicken, no bun. The chicken breasts are the bun. Wow. I wish they had that when I was 19. So the kids dive into the fortune cookies. I push mine to the center of the table. And just before I have a moment to even look at our fortunes, Eliot is standing up in front of me, pointing and saying, I want that, Dad. I turn around, and in the corner, the great gift of the Hong Kong buffet is what I now affectionately refer to as the diabetes den, which is an all-you-can-eat dessert spread, replete with cookies and cake and chocolate things and Jell-O. And before I can say anything, the boys are there, to my horror, standing in front of a knee-high, white, old-fashioned, glass-topped, self-scoop ice cream freezer. And I am destitute. My children now no longer have before them the chance to be in front of the pink-spooned, color-blocked 31 flavors ice cream experience where they wonder, because the counter's higher, what they're reaching into to grab those scoops of ice cream. They can see gallons of mint chocolate chipped next to competing vanilla and chocolate, and I am crumbling. Focus, David, now on them, here, this experience. Even the scoop in its little jacuzzi nest of water, cleaning off the competition from the previous scooper, crumbles me. The gift of the gift is the now of your experience. The boys run back with their grandma-shaped cookie bowls, candy bowls that look like little bonnets, but they're made of plastic, with bendable metal spoons. and their ice cream, and I squeak into the red, cracked booth. I've lost my fortune. That's not a Shakespearean metaphor. It's not a line from Hamlet. I mean, I literally have lost my little piece of paper. I can't find it. But Steph has found a few. She reads them out loud, and she says, my rock, she says, this is great. Look at how awesome this is. Got a lot of good stuff going on. And I admit that actually it's been pretty fun. And I'm not a depressed person at all, so I'm anxious and excited that the boys had such a great time. And the next task comes quickly, which is the minivan. And implanting in a 3-year-old's head and a 6-year-old's head those little bedtime thoughts that are so important. And we get home, and we get into one bed, all 4 of us. Jack's, twin-sized bed, 6'4", my wife's 6 feet tall. The kids, they're kid-sized, we're okay. And I'm feeling fortunate about the presentness of my moment. And our present religion takes over, and we say our gratefuls together. We talk about the now of the day and how it will shape what's to come. And we say what we're grateful for. And Jack says to me, I'm grateful for the moon. I'm grateful for the moon. So am I. And I choke back a full tide of tears, and Elliot says, I'm grateful for Mom and David, Dad, and Knuckles, our dog, and, quote, all the people. And suddenly, I'm calm. I am aware of how tiny the vastness of the universe is. I am darting back and forth while I'm in the present moment about the interconnectedness of the us in the universe, of the Ivers in the universe. It's there. Cover your U and N with your thumb and the E at the end, and the Ivers is there. And that's not to say that the Ivers are the center of the universe, but in this moment, now they are. They're in the center of the word. We are at the center of the universe. I am present now, moving to the future. And all of a sudden, my mind is exploding because of these 2 little versions of Steph and I, the tininess of the vastness of the universe. And all I can think about is how these massive, massive spiral galaxies all over this infinite universe look like tiny little fossils that I've found, and shells, that they mirror each other. And this, my friends, is not just a coincidence. It deserves more than shrugging off. It deserves noticing. It allows you to be present in the now while you are moving forward. And these little gems that have so much to learn about the interconnectedness of the us, fall asleep peacefully and gloriously, and I wane into the next part of my evening. I go into our bedroom. Full disclosure, sorry about the transparency, I take off my clothes. I'm in my underwear, slunched at the side of the bed, not a lot of light in the bedroom, Steph's in the bathroom. I'm just about to go through, get on my pajamas, I pick up my shirt, and there I find my fortune. I take a moment, I squint at the fortune. If you can shape it in your mind, you will find it in your life. If you can shape it in your mind, you will find it in your life. Who writes this? I mean, this is some heavy S, apostrophe, question mark, @ T, exclamation point. My mind, again, off in some other world, thinks, is there an ant farm with people in horn-rimmed glasses and elbow patches on their blazers, all with Hashimoto's yelling, what's another word for destiny? If you can shape it in your mind, you will find it in your life. Lucky number 55, 42, 31, 46, 8, 2. I know this. This is true. This isn't coincidence. I've lived this. I have found a context for the now and moved to the future simultaneously. I have set goals in the moment while our minds, our brilliant minds, compile information at milliseconds around it while I move into the future. It's 3 a.m. I'm still up, binding my coincidences. I haven't begun to look at the lucky numbers, which really mean nothing to me, because we don't have a lottery in Utah. And Lost is no longer on the air. But wait a second. If you can shape it in your mind, 55, the first number my son Jack ever learned in another language. He's very gifted. He loves numbers and sounds and letters. We were in Hawaii on a family vacation to celebrate, oddly, the 50th anniversary of my in-laws. And Jack's uncle says to Jack, "Hey, Jack, do you want to know what 55 is in German? Fumfa-fumsi." It's funny. 42, the age I was when I had Elliot, with my wife had Elliot. I was there standing by. 31, the age I was when Steph and I figured it out and decided to shape the moment of now into having a future. 46, my age in July. 8, the combined age of my children at the time of reading this very fortune to tomorrow, April 2nd. The next day I have to shape what is now into the future. Now look, we can all find coincidences. We can all be cynical enough to shrug something off or say, "Oh yeah, I saw a blue stop sign today. My favorite color is blue. The sign said stop." Those two things are a miracle. I stopped and I looked at the blue. We can all find a moment to say, "Oh yeah, things happen." Yes, we can. That's my point. It's what I want to remind you of. My present religion costs me something. Yours will too. Thank you, Hong Kong buffet. I should have left a much bigger tip. This is not luck. This is a gift. Here's one for you. Thank you.